Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a try a chapter video. Basically the way that I want to run these this year, because my books are in order of the longest on my TBR down here to the shortest, at least for what can fit on the cart, I am just going to focus on the books that are on the cart. I'm going to literally start from over here and work my way through any books that I think I might not like. I may not want to put on a TBR game, may not want to actually read. Any of those I'm going to try a chapter in today. I just think that this would be an easier way to go through and like make sure I'm clearing off my TBR cart without necessarily putting books I'm not interested in on my TBR. So let's first of all start with Unraveling the Origins Controversy. This was an old school book for, I believe, my creation science class. Pretty sure. I don't remember it, but we're gonna read the first chapter. Let's go. Okay, I'm back. Not gonna lie, I didn't finish the first chapter because I think this is gonna be a really good read. I'm looking forward to putting that on TBR. And I wasn't before. Like, this was one that I was very convinced that I could possibly unhaul, but no. This is really good. It's talking about science, government, and education, which is like probably my ideal book. So I'm excited to get into that. Oh, and like creation versus evolution. I'll talk more about this when I actually read it. Next, we're gonna get on to these three. These were from my philosophy class in college, which I loved that class. And I really like these covers. I'm just gonna pull them all out. I just think they're so pretty, even though they're kind of plain and some people might not like them. I love them. And I really don't want to get rid of them, but at the same time, it's like, why am I keeping books if I'm not gonna read them? So, ooh. This one doesn't count because I absolutely want to read that based on something I just saw. We'll leave that on there. Actually, let's just flip through these. Epistemology. That's about becoming intellectually virtuous. We're just gonna put these right back on. What about metaphysics? Metaphysics I may not enjoy as much. I changed my mind. These are gonna stay. I do want to read After 3. I'm not certain about By This Standard. I love the cover because it's hardcover, and this was from my government class in college. My jurisprudence class, actually, not my government class. I don't remember reading it. That's the thing. Like, we got it for class, and I don't think we either got to it or didn't really talk about it that much. I don't know. But let's get into chapter 1 and just see what I think. Oh, but it talks about like, okay, I changed my mind. This talks about like biblical law and our law today. Another one going right back on. Okay, those are good. I'm not gonna unhaul any of those. And now I'm excited to put them on my TBR. Written on the Heart, I do want to read. The Smart Step Family I did in a last try a chapter. This one I'm uncertain about, and I was definitely thinking about trying for this video. It's called Loving Your Parents When They Can No Longer Love You, and this was also a school book. A lot of these were. Is basically about like when your parents get older and trying to like be a caregiver. Really just talking about like parents getting old, and I don't know that I really want to read that right now. I don't want to like hold on to it if I'm not going to read it. But let's try chapter 1. Back, and I read chapter 1 of this. I do think that I want to continue this. I enjoyed the first chapter. There were parts that I was kind of disagreeing with or like, you know, not as engaged with, but I think I am going to read this. I think it can be useful. Godstrong, I did start a long time ago. I would like to continue. Okay, I'm so sorry. You guys couldn't see like any of these spines. So let's try that again. Wait. Gospel-Centered Discipleship was a book that I read for student leadership in college, and I'd like to reread it. Tribulation Force is the second book in the Left Behind series, and it was probably my favorite before Glorious Appearing came out. So I love that. I want to reread it. Hearts of Fire, I started for a previous try chapter, and I'm looking forward to that. Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts was a school book. I was a family and child development major, so I had a lot of these like family focused classes. So I have read this, but I do want to reread it. The Shack is one that I'm iffy on because I would like to reread this so I could try a chapter, but I really want to like actually sit down and try to reread it and decide if I want to keep it or if I want to unhaul it. I'm gonna skip it for now, and then we'll see. If it doesn't come up after a few months, then we'll try a chapter it and then decide from there. Sacred Marriage I've started, want to continue. I'm like half-ish, almost halfway through. Unplanned, you know, I need to finish that one. These are on my TBR for this month. This is the only spot they fit. So then we have, coming over here to Uninvited. This will be a reread, so I'm not going to do that. True Love Dates. Okay. I think I've started this and I'm not sure I really want to read this. Especially after what I just saw. Wow, hello. Okay, this is very intense. Maybe I should read this. First chapter of True Love Dates. It sounds cliche, but it was all about like dating inward and like getting to know yourself, where you come from. What were the questions? Where do I come from? Where and who am I now? And where am I going? Which sounds cliche, but that's actually a lot to think through and a lot to like really get clear on, which is good, not just for like relationships, but for careers and just life in general. It's an ongoing process for everyone, but it is something to think about. Are you focused on when you're gonna meet the perfect person for you, or are you focused on being the kind of person that you want to be? Period. So I am excited to get back into that, and I don't think I'd actually read this. I think I might have started it, but I don't know, I have no recollection of it. I'm just gonna hold this, so sorry if it's shaky. This book is When God Says Wait. Navigating life's detours and delays without losing your faith, your friends, or your mind. And this has come up for like a lot of TBR games, and I've always said basically no to it, but we're gonna read the first chapter of this. We shall see. I don't even need to read more. This is so interesting from the very beginning. It's almost like they are these, every single chapter is like a retelling of a Bible story where like the main character had to wait on a situation, but it's almost like retelling like very much Francine Rivers style. And you guys know, if you saw the vlog, I loved this book. So now I'm feeling like an idiot because I have put this off, and I'm actually gonna probably really enjoy this and really want to put it on my TBR. Dang, I could have read this a long time ago. So The Mingling of Souls, have I started this one? I don't know, but I'm not wanting to unhaul it, so I'm just gonna skip that one. I do want to read What Every Girl Wants by Lisa Harper. Isolating Insecurity is a reread. Ooh, this one. I have no idea. If I've read this or not. I typically take notes in my books, and there are no notes in here. I feel like I should try this. And it's short too. I mean, obviously I'm only reading one chapter, but like, I don't know, chapters are longish, but okay. First chapter is called What I'm Working With, My Adolescent Dating Baggage. And then it has a Harry Potter quote, which I've never read Harry Potter, but we'll get into that. But basically it's called Who's Picking Me Up from the Airport and Other Questions Single Girls Ask. I'm sensing a theme at this point. Not sure how I feel about it, but anyway, let's get into this. Okay, so is it a little bit cheesy? Yes. But is it also really good? Yes. Like, I'm honestly shocked. And I'm looking forward to reading this. I appreciate that she had a boyfriend in middle school or high school and then not again until she was 27. And so I appreciate that she's like older. She's like older and single writing this book. I don't know where she is now because I got this years ago. I got this from like an online course that I did. It was on like a recommended reading list and I just wanted to read all the books. So I got this and I'm really glad I did because I think it's going to be really good. And now I want to put it on my TBR. And I kind of don't love that like a lot of these are like relationships and marriage books, and when I was younger really relate to her a lot with like the being over focused on that in college years. I used to really love those kinds of books. Moving on, we have these two, which I got both of these for free when I was a student leader in law school. And they are Why Pro-Life and Stand for Life. And I do want to read both of these. I think I'm going to skip trying a chapter of these because I do plan to read them. Relentless by John Bevere. I actually only have a little bit left on this week. Maybe I have more. Maybe I need to reread the whole thing. I have no idea. We were reading this for a community group in law school and I never finished it. And I'm not sure why. Then we have this, Making Your Case. This was from my appellate advocacy class in law school and I never read it. I think it was just like recommended reading. Part of me wants to read this, but just like looking at it, I'm kind of like, no thank you. But it's such a like nice book. Stop. I am not getting rid of that. That's so pretty. It literally looks like a case book, but it's a normal sized book. I just don't know that I want to read it. So I'm gonna skip this. Probably just put it with my other school books, to be honest. You never know if I'll need it or have a future child who wants to read it. That's why I keep so many of my books, because I used to love looking at my parents' old school books. So there's my reasoning on that. Next, oh gosh, we have Abolishing Abortion. Now, I also got this for free. I feel like I should read this, so I probably should just skip that. Meets Change, I've already started. Love Does by Bob Goff. I've heard Bob Goff speak. I probably heard him in college. Definitely heard him in law school, which was really cool because we had a pretty small moot courtroom and he like spoke there. So he was like literally like a couple feet in front of me, maybe like 20. I don't know. It was really cool. Should have met him. I don't know why I didn't. So dumb. But I'm gonna read chapter 1, see if I like this. I didn't love Love Lives Here by his wife. Nothing wrong. Like, it just wasn't for me. So I'm gonna try this out and we'll see what it is. Okay, I'm torn on this one because I was already like skimming the first chapter because I don't know what it is. It's just like the writing style that they use, and I had heard that he and his wife's writing style is very similar, and I didn't love the writing style in her book, and I'm not loving this. Like, it is telling a story, and I'm like skipping through because I want to know what happens, but I don't really care about the details, which is not usual for me. So there's something about the way that it's written that I'm not connecting with, and I would rather just like listen to him talk than read this book, which sounds so bad because I feel like this is one of those books that like everyone reads this and they love it, and I'm just the odd one out. I don't know. I appreciate like all the stuff that he does. Like, he's a lawyer and he does all this like just taking care of people and doing fun stuff, which is awesome. I don't want to read it. So I think I'm gonna actually put this on Pango Books and then it'll be in a future little free library video. Lastly, we have the book that's stuck here. Very textbooky. I'm torn on this one because I feel like it would be a really good practical read. Kind of like how I read Gospel-Centered Kids Ministry before I teach on Sundays. Like, this would be a great one too, because it's talking about like being the church and like different things that you can do to like make disciples. So I feel like I should keep this. It just wouldn't be something that I would put on my TBR though, I think. So maybe I will put this over here so that it is with the books that I want to read and want to reference, but not necessarily the ones that I want to put on my TBR. So I'm gonna not try a chapter, and I'm just gonna put that over there. Last thing we have to do is we have a little bit of space, and I'm gonna go get some of my other books from my other storage spaces. We'll try the chapters in them and then put them in here. Okay, so in an unexpected turn of events, all three of these are actually books I've read. I want to reread them. First, we have Scary Close by Donald Miller. That one is a really good book. And we have Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, another really good book. I love this book so much. I was so surprised when I read this how much I loved it. So, reread for sure. And then lastly, another reread we got this for my leadership team at church. When I read it, it's called Excellence Wins. I love this book. Can't wait to reread it. So that is all I have room for. So, one book to unhaul in this video, and honestly, like, I feel sort of bad, but I also don't, because I think every time I see this come up in like a TBR video for an option, I'm just like, no, I don't want to read that. And I think that it would be better suited for someone who really does want to read it. That's everything. Thank you guys so much for being here. The next video that I have planned is my Lord of the Rings series. Is my Hobbit and Lord of the Rings series reading vlog. Now, I'm going to read as much of this as I can between now, today's Tuesday, and this Friday. So we'll see how this goes. It might be crazy. I may not get to all of it, but I'm excited nevertheless. So if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I was kind of expecting to have more books to unhaul, but at least we got one. So just looking forward to a lot of these that I was not expecting to be excited about. If you've read any of these books or really want me to read one of these books, let me know in the comments below. And with that, I will talk to you all on Friday with that lovely reading vlog. All right, thank you guys for being here. Bye.